Hey guys, it's Godbars here, the self-proclaimed hip-hop historian, and this is the 316th episode of my series where I grab a vinyl from my collection, talk about why I love it, what influence it has, and what its place is in the grand scheme of hip-hop. So before I really say anything about today's pick, I have to remedy some past mistakes I've made regarding Antipop Consortium, which is the groundbreaking hip-hop crew we're discussing here. Because while I can't say off the top of my head which past videos I briefly mentioned these guys in, I do know there was multiple times where I was listing out various MCs and groups from the Bay Area, and for whatever reason I would include Antipop here, as well as certain close affiliates and collaborators like Azim, despite none of them originating from the Bay or even Cali at all. At best, they had ties with certain West Coast veterans like Dan the Automator, as Antipop released various tapes, singles, and albums through his 75 Arc label. However, the formation of the collective, along with virtually all of their time that they spent active as a group, took place in New York City. So to be honest with you, I genuinely don't have the slightest idea why I had been under the impression that they came from Oakland or somewhere else in the area, because nothing about their sound really implies that. And I have to assume I must have somehow gotten them conflated with another movement. But now with that little disclaimer out of the way, I can talk about the actual music these guys released and why it was so important, and that all begins with the individuals who made up Antipop Consortium, a variety of MCs with one producer, though it does seem like all the rappers here assisted behind the boards as well. And this roster of multifaceted artists included High Priest, M. Saeed, Earl Blaze, and Beans, who actually made an appearance on my top 50 hip hop albums of 2024 list with his complex and experimental Z Ward album. The project we're discussing today, The Ends Against the Middle, may have come out over 20 years ago at this point, but those convention-challenging tendencies are just as prevalent. In fact, they're on full display, because despite this being a pretty short and to-the-point EP, I would bet just about anything if you heard the opening track, Tough Gong, just randomly without knowing what year it came out in beforehand. You would probably never say 2001 if I asked you to guess what year it came from. The first project that these game changers contributed to the culture came in 1999 when they teamed up with DJ Vadim to create their debut titled The Isolationist, which I believe was technically the name for this collaboration as an act as well. When it comes to their breakout LP under the Antipop Consortium moniker, that would come the next year in 2000, with their tragic epilogue album, an experience which Beans would label as, quote, a eulogy to the end of hip-hop. And the very alternative electronic approach they took on that grand undertaking carries over to The Ends Against the Middle here, and it kind of serves as a short little follow-up that came out alongside Shopping Carts Crashing, which is technically their third studio full-length, second if you don't include The Isolationist. But it seems that one flew under the radar a bit, as it doesn't appear to be on any streaming services, nor can I really find any information or background on it. With this in mind, it seems like the general consensus is that 2002's Arrhythmia is the true sophomore LP of their discography. In fact, Apple Music even specifically notes it as their second album, so make of that what you will. But while they arguably stepped even further outside their comfort zone the following year, when they collaborated with Matthew Shipp for 2003's Antipop vs. Matthew Shipp, I think Arrhythmia is most likely their magnum opus. And while I only have The Ends Against the Middle in my collection at the time of filming this, I felt like it had already been so long without introducing these guys to the page, so I opted to just use the EP as an excuse to share this innovative collective with anyone who may not be familiar. While the production is definitely the most forward-thinking and captivating aspect that Antipop has to offer, none of the MCs involved are remotely slouches on the mic, and I want to back that up with a killer set of bars from the aforementioned opening track. These stellar verses come from M. Saeed, who demonstrates his far above average pen and sick stream of consciousness flow, starting with "You're nothing, huntin', buntin', trying to figure it out, frontin', fuck that, I'm like tut black, rap with the stuff that chemists is trying to figure now in the lab on lean. Focus straight, channel 13. Used to sneak out while Pop's beat kicked up on the couch asleep. Lampin' had some TVs to shut off. And it was just the straight national anthem. Now I'm camping, flows and shows. Another class of rhyme into the flows when they dampen. You'll not flatter me, I'll blow you to the wall like a art gallery. Deep like submarine tragedy. Non-stop hits like that bunny with the battery. He keeps this high level of lyrical venom going with verse 2, where after a sublime beat transition he raps, "All my people in the populace, let your arms swing like an octopus. M. Saeed, since a seed, had the need to tell what I see. Saw it up and down, then I flipped quick into the pit stop. Restock and fix the mix-up. Hit you click up with dirty piss out the Dick's cup. Re-nicked up, kicked up, drafted shit to drop on you like an F-350 dual rear wheel pickup. Plus I get dough without a gat. Just my finger on your back like this is a stick-up. In a hollow, didn't even swallow, I'm gonna start clapping like the Apollo. So what I'm saying is I'm clever, quicker, butter, better, whatever, 95 degrees in the breeze. Or -6 over the Bering Seas with no sweater. I'll always keep you falling apart like pleather. Vanetta brass and 79 coins in a sock swinging on your spine from behind. You pulled out a 9, I turned into a green light and ran over your mind. There weren't any guest appearances on this thing, and all the production is handled in-house from the resident members, so I'm just gonna get right into my top 3 favorite songs, which overall, without a doubt, would have to be Tough Gong, Vector, and Splinter. Then for my honorable mentions, since there aren't too many tracks on this project, I'm basically just shouting out the remainder of the EP, which includes a variety of diverse bangers, like Dystopian Disco Force, 39303, Pit, and Perpendicular. Thank you for watching my 316th video. Next up, we have the return of this channel's single most revisited artist, who hasn't popped up on the page for a little while now. So check for that review, and if you enjoyed, be sure to like, subscribe, and let me know what moments you enjoyed the most from this experimental release years ahead of its time. Don't forget to have a great day, and I'll see you next time, okay? Alright.